Hey there. In part 4 of our video series of Google My Maps, we're going to be learning about calculating the area, the perimeter, and also the distance using Google's My Maps. So we're going to start with Nebraska that we made in our previous video. And when I click on that, as long as it's a closed shape, it's going to give me a couple pieces of information. You can tell that this stands for perimeter because it's not filled in, and this stands for area because of the shaded part. So this is 77,000 approximately square miles and also has a perimeter of 1,249 miles. So that is how you find the area and perimeter of a shape. So you can outline anything you want and it will give you the calculation for that. If you have a line and you click on the line, we talked about this in the video where we actually made the line. Any line will give you its distance. This is a distance in miles. Let's make a line and a perimeter that is a lot smaller, relatively speaking. I'm going to click and draw a line uh, on Main Street here, going through Stanton, and I'm going to stop there. And I'm going to double click that last dot so it seals it in. You have to give it a name first. Call this Main Street. And I click save, and as soon as I do that, it gives me a distance. This is still calculating in miles, so this is a half mile. Let's see if we change this distance even shorter. See if we can get that so the units are not in miles anymore. All right, so now that I've gone and made it a shorter distance, now it's calculating it in feet, so it changes the units according to how much you're measuring it. So Nebraska was in square miles, so let's draw a shape that's relatively small, this little block right here. And I'm going to click every time I want to change direction till I get back to the original spot, and then I'm going to double click. City block, we're going to call this. Save. All right, and it's giving me an area that is a little bit different, AC. That stands for acres. So this area is 4.29 acres. It still gives me the perimeter of it. Right now it's covering the perimeter in miles. So that unit will change depending on what you're measuring in. The last tool I wanted to show you that's somewhat helpful is this ruler tool here. You can measure the distances and areas, same as you did with the lines that you draw in, but when you do it this way, these lines do not stay. So I'm going to click here, and as I drag, you can see the distance changing dynamically as I move this. And you can see where it decides to change. It looks like as soon as it hits around 1,300 feet, it changes into miles. And when I click, it allows me to change direction, just like with the other tools. So you can get a distance of something that's uh, non-linear as far as a straight line goes. So I'm still getting the perimeter or the distance of this line. If I head to the end here and click on that, it's going to give me a enclosed shape, and it's going to give me the same information as it did with the other shapes that I drew. So it looks like it's 0.9 miles in perimeter and 19.4 acres in area. Now, the only difference with this and the other things is when I click away, that object or shape that I drew disappears. So this is more for temporarily finding stuff on the fly. It's not something that's going to be added to your map permanently. Okay, hopefully that answers some questions on area, perimeter, and using the ruler tool.